Just a great basketball game. Game of runs. I thought we started the game just fantastic, about as well as we can play against their zone. Did a pretty good job defending. Then I thought the game turned a little bit. I thought the Gary Air and Dolage started to hurt us on the glass, and they played much better, a little more inspired there in the middle of the first half. And then, second half was just a back and forth street fight. Certainly it was hard there when we had the bad play where we made a three, fouled them, F1, 2 free throws, ball back. Now it's like 50-41, and lost some air in the building for sure. But just give our kids a lot of credit. Our guys have been resilient all season. We just kind of battle and played better. Tevin really got us going. I talked a lot at halftime about I didn't think our defense was quite as good as it needed to be. I thought it was very good in the second half, and I thought we needed to get a couple of energy baskets, effort baskets off offensive rebounds and hustle plays, and I thought Tevin got a couple of those, and Tevin and Clyde just both played an exceptional half and second half, and for us to find a way to win that game was big time for us. So really proud of our players.
Coach, if anybody had told you that Amir would only have his first bucket in the last minute of the game, you'd only be down 1 point, would you believe that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think sometimes Amir's value is way more than just the scoring. Obviously, we need him to score more, but some games are not going to be that for him. Like, I thought his defense was outstanding tonight. He wasn't guarding a primary player, but his help, his extending on screens, his rotations, his box outs, and just I thought he made some terrific plays. And offensively he made better plays late. He probably wasn't as good early against the zone as we would have liked. He was better in practice, but obviously we need other guys to step up, and you're going to have 2 or 3 guys play really well. We had Clyde and Tevin have fantastic games.
Brad, what was your instructions there with 11 seconds to go when y'all coming out of that timeout?
Yeah, just we're going to switch screens and just try to keep them in front of us. We didn't want to foul them. Let's make them make a tough play. And then as we get a rebound, let's go play and see what happens. And if I don't like what I see, I'll call timeout. But if I like what I see, I'm gonna let you go. And Kayvon's good in the open court like that. He got the rebound. Our guys ran, which was outstanding. We got ahead. Kayvon made a nice little crossover dribble and a fantastic pass to Clyde. And it wasn't an easy finish, but Clyde made a great play. It was really good basketball. I think sometimes fans and media, everybody, you want us to call some get it to half court, get it to the other side, call timeout, try to organize. That's hard. That's really hard. And so oftentimes you're better off letting guys go. Like in the open floor, if you feel like they have a chance. Obviously a year ago it didn't work out against North Carolina. Tonight it did. Those are decisions you make as a coach as you're watching a play go, hoping that your guy can either make a play to the basket, get fouled. And tonight our guys made an exceptional play.
Psychologically, how resilient does your team have to be when they're just throwing those daggers from?
They're hard to play against. They don't turn it over. They don't pass as much. They don't run as much, complex offense as some people. And maybe Coach Boeheim's really smart for that. Why try to do all that stuff when you're really just trying to get it to the best player anyway? So, why not just give it to him and let him start with it and make plays? And, oftentimes it's hard to guard. So, that it keeps their turnovers down. They have good enough one-on-one players that their guys can get in the lane and score. Obviously, Buddy has become an unbelievable player. His development in the offseason, he was a good player last year. Now he's a great player. Obviously, Elijah Hughes is as good as it gets. And then Girardi's good. You got 3 guys that can all shoot, so you help. Now they're shooting a 3. You don't help. Those guys are good enough to get in the lane, score over you. They got big guys around the rim to rebound. It's hard to deal with. And because of the way they play, I think it helps them on the road because they don't get rattled like they're not trying to execute all these intricate schemes. They just keep it simple, and like, so they don't really get as rattled in away environments. It feels like they just kind of do what they do, and sometimes it's a tough shot, but they usually get a shot, and so they're hard to play against. They're a handful.
Right, I'm
the wins
guessing
that
this
you
kind
had,
of can.
some of the wins that you had earlier this month were against, aggressive man-to-mans, and you can run a lot of your motion stuff. How impressed were you your guys were able to execute against that kind of zone and win a different way?
Well, it's funny, when you play them, you better have about 4 different things you're trying to figure out, because we started the game doing 1 or 2 things. It worked, looks great. We score right away, several possessions, and then all of a sudden, boom, lull. They make an adjustment. You're not getting some of the same things. Now what are you going to do? And it's hard. And again, it's the 40 minutes of it. It's the way that they adjust to what you do better than anybody else, because that's what they do. And so you better have several different things that you're looking at, and you just kind of keep trying to find them and changing sometimes, coming back to one. At the end of the day, these games are about players making plays. And Tevin Mack got into the high post and made plays. And, that jump-started our offense. It got guys some confidence. We made some other plays out of it. But it was really us getting the ball to a good player in a good area and letting him make plays. And tonight he was able to do it.
Brad, how difficult is it for a guy like Tevin, who's had so many voices from so many different places telling him how to play the game, to get comfortable and perform like this?
Yeah, I think, one thing that's been overlooked a little bit is Tevin's a primary player for us. He's a guy we need to score. He's a guy we told him that when we recruited him. Told him that 4 years ago when I recruited him. It wasn't as appealing then. Got more appealing when he didn't get to do it as often at some other places as I thought he was. I'm sure they told him the same things. But anyway, it is. I think it's harder than people realize, especially if you haven't been that guy for 2 or 3 years, and now all of a sudden, okay, I'm gonna, and then early in the year, I don't think people scouted him as much, so he's scoring, and then he goes through a drought, and he's struggling, and now he's kind of come back a little bit. And what was great tonight is, he made baskets without making threes. He found other ways to score, and that's what we've kind of been encouraging him to do, is be more than a 3-point shooter. And but I think it's more difficult than people realize when you're not kind of wired that way for the last couple of years to just kind of have that much freedom, to now all of a sudden, you're expected to do it and we need you to do it. And he's had several games like this where he's been special.
Coach, how big was it when Dolajai fouled out with 8 minutes left, and then their
I think
other
it was
big man?
important. He's a good player. He's a glue guy. Amir does a lot of that glue stuff for us. He does it for them. Plays the 5, plays the 4. He's improved. He's really good driving the ball to the basket. Good offensive. He's quicker off his feet. He's more athletic than people realize. Like he's got a quick second jump, and that's part of why he's a good driver. Is he's quick off the first step, and then he's quick into his little shots. He's a very good player.
Brad, what's been different with Clyde the last 2 games? Seems like he's got his confidence back.
Yeah, I think just making a couple plays, feeling good about it. I think today's game being a little more slow-paced probably helps him. That's a lot of minutes for him to play right now, but because the game was, they're kind of slow on offense, you're slow on offense, I don't think it was as grueling 34 minutes as some games can be. And so I think he had his legs under him the whole time. I think he was comfortable, made some shots early, was confident. So I think all of it kind of played into it.
Is
Was
this,
the halftime adjustment to put Tevin at that spot more?
Yeah,
Sort of
try to get
replace-
Tevin in there a little more. We're going to try to get Clyde in there some. Amir struggled a little more than we thought he would. I think he's better in there than he played tonight. He just maybe didn't have as good a performance today, but that was one of the main things we were trying to do.
Hunter had the career game against Wake last week, and he didn't start the last 2 games. Is that just a personnel
Yeah, it's
matchup
just
type of thing?
My decision. Just Hunter's a good player, and Tevin Mack's a good player, and today Tevin Mack had it rolling, so it was harder for Hunter.
Brad, sorry if this came up when I was
Sure.
out here, but with 11 seconds to go and 1 on the shot clock, did it actually help did Syracuse's shot hit the rim instead of being a violation?
Good
So you were
point.
able to get transition?
Probably did, yeah, I think it absolutely did. No question about it, because it enabled us to, make a play and get into the open floor. I hadn't thought about that initially, but I think that's a great observation. But that's a tough one, what are you supposed to, you can't just take the violation. You just gotta play through it, and we were fortunate that we got a clean rebound and got a good head start. And then our guys executed. They really came on, made a great play. I mean, he got it coming full speed, crossed it over, and our guys ran and got to the open spot. And wasn't as easy a shot, I don't think, as it looked, especially with 2 or 3 seconds to go to win the game.
Is Clyde's rebounding underappreciated? You had some big ones there in the second half.
Yeah, I think that's, we talked to Clyde a lot. Today he scored, but I've told you guys several times, he might have 6 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds, and he settles our team. So he's done a lot of really good things in the game. I think he's a versatile guy. I think he can do a lot of different things. He's not wired to average 17 points a game, but he can get you 17 in a game. He can do a lot of different things, guard multiple personnel, play with different people. I made a decision to play Al and Clyde together. I think Al, although I don't think he played great, I do think he's an energy giver, and there's a spark that comes with his play. Curran was having a little bit of a tough day, and so I just decided to go Al and Clyde for a while, and I thought that Al's energy was really good on both ends, and I thought it helped. And there were some defensive issues that weren't easy for him, but he was good in terms of, again, providing juice to our team.
Brad, was there, going back a month or so ago, was there anything in those practices after the Miami game that pointed to what you guys have been able to do in January? And were you at all worried about their resilience?
No, our team has been fantastic to deal with, even when we were losing a bunch of games. These guys practice every day. I was a little upset with them after the Louisville game. I thought we played, very, very poorly in the first 20 minutes, and just we settled, and then we kind of pouted when we didn't shoot well, and just really disappointed in our overall effort and competitive spirit. And I challenged them. I was going to have a really hard 2-day practice the next day, and being a little wiser and older, I decided not to, but we're going to have another discussion, and we're still going to compete hard, but we're going to do it more efficiently, and their attitude was fantastic. We had 2 fantastic days of practice leading into this game, and I think that is why we won the game, is our mentality from practice was great. Our guys, we do morning shoot around. Our guys were fantastic at 7:45 this morning. I thought we were going to play well today, because we had 48 hours of just great focus and energy, and that's what these kids have done, is they've done that. They did that in Italy. They've been resilient. We've had a lot of injuries. We battled through things. Didn't have Chase again today. But the guys who are asked to play, and then we just kind of do the best we can and hang in there and fight. And when we've gotten behind, we haven't panicked. We just kept our head down, and somehow we found ourselves back in games. And then it's been remarkable that we've made as many winning plays at the end of games as we have for a team with young experience.
With Tevin, not only from a basketball standpoint, but just from a culture and fit, how do you feel like he's done, being an older guy who's seen a lot of ball, played a lot?
I think that one of the best things that Tevin has done for our team is he's an energy giver, and he practices hard. That's the one thing that I probably have been most surprised about. I didn't know as a 5th-year guy, is he really going to want to be a guy that comes in and practices hard every day? Because I'm a practice coach. We practice. We get after it. I like practice, and he likes practice. He wants to practice. He wants to go at guys. He wants to guard. He wants to go at them to score. I think he's obviously energized by his role, but even in the days when it's not going well and you're not playing good, he still comes to practice and goes every day hard. And those are things that are unbelievably appreciated by your coach. And when you don't have guys like that, it's not as easy for certain guys. You know, physically, like, it's not as easy for Amir every day to have that kind of juice. Al's got that juice every day. It's not as easy for Clyde every day to have it. Like, they're guys that, like, they can wear down some. But, like, Tevin can go all day. He can go all day, every day, and really not be fatigued. And I think that has made our team better.
What went into that decision not to have that intense practice after the Louisville game?
We had an intense practice. We just didn't have too intense practice. So it was just, you know, I had a conversation with my staff, and you know, I wanted to make sure we were really ready, and I thought we could accomplish it eventually in just one practice, and thankfully we did that. So, all right.
Questions?
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.